Hi, I'm Nicole, licensed clinician, and we are here talking about everyday things that impact our mental health and fitness. And we just talked about SMART goals. Um, and the last thought that I have about SMART goals is that sometimes we make our goals and they're a little bit big, right? Large scale goals. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that, right? But sometimes also we find it a little bit difficult to gain some momentum and like get going when it comes to actually putting those goals into play. And sometimes it's because they're so big and it feels sometimes a little bit ridiculous to break it down to like really small pieces. But I want to share with you something ingenious that one of my friends actually shared with me that she did. And so I'm going to use this example in my background right here. This is a bookshelf in my office that I need to go through, right? So she said that she would write down every single minute step that she has to get done in order to do something like clear off the bookshelf. So I would write down, let's say, clear off bookshelf, put everything into a box, like just everything into a box, right? And then the second step would be um, make piles, like separate things into, what goes in the garbage, what has to go downstairs, what has to be like put up on the wall, um, filed away, etc. Right? Um, and then the next one would be actually start working through those piles, right? So um, maybe adjust the shelves would be another step, depending on what has to go back on the shelf, right? Maybe also taking a look around the rest of my office and seeing is there anything else that needs to go on that shelf before I really start, getting it organized. Um, are there any things I need to buy or make in order to make the organization cleaner looking and better looking in the background? Um, and so these can be multiple steps, right? We live in a very busy day and age. I can maybe do that. If I dedicated like an hour to that, I can get everything off, I can get things put away, figure out like, okay, hey, like this thing really doesn't live anywhere, like where does this have to live? And then, figuring those things out too. However, I don't have an hour of my time to dedicate to that in a chunk, right? It just seems to be very difficult to find that hour of time, especially weighing it out against other priorities in my life. So, um, what I might do is one day clear everything off, throw it in a box. That's it. The next day, maybe start going through it, making some piles or putting them into separate boxes or something that keeps it kind of contained, but also starts making the separation. And then the following day, maybe start going through some of those boxes, maybe one box at a time, right? What can I file? Okay, let's get these things filed away. The next day, what needs to be put away that I can do either in the office or on this floor? Is there something that needs to, whatever, go in the garage, go in the attic? I don't know. Anyway, you get my point, right? So the overarching goal would be organize and clean off that bookshelf. The minute steps could take me a week, maybe, right? Um, and so think about that on the larger scale of what your goals are for the year, the next 6 months, next 3 months, next month, whatever your goal timeline looks like, right? And think about it in this way also. Let's say you have multiple goals and they're kind of competing for your time. It's sometimes really hard to start two goals at the same time, especially when you're not already in the habit of doing something. So, what we can do is start to drive a little bit of a time wedge in. So, let's say you have a goal to purge your house, right? Go through everything, throw things out that you don't need, donate stuff, whatever it is. That can be a really daunting task.